Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am so pumped you're here today because we are diving into a really beautifully rich narrative. We're going to explore a classic fable known as the story of the golden pigeon. Now, on the surface, this might just seem like a simple folktale, but as we break down the source material today, you're going to see how deeply it weaves together themes of empathy, karma, and that sort of everyday magic that exists in our choices. It's a fantastic story, and I literally cannot wait to walk you through it. Okay, let's dive right into this. What actually happens when a simple act of kindness meets, well, unexpected magic? So often in life, we think of kindness as just an isolated action. But in the world of this story, empathy is a total catalyst. It's the spark that sets off a huge chain reaction of extraordinary events. Try to keep this question in the back of your mind as we move through the narrative, because it really is our anchor for everything that's about to unfold. Section 1. The Hard-Working Family. So, we start off in the quiet village of Burhanpur. We've got this incredibly hardworking farmer named Raju and his wife Shalini. And as we look at the village dynamics, there's a really stark contrast here. On one hand, Raju's immense dedication brings these beautiful, bountiful harvests. But on the other hand, the village headman, who actually has excellent seeds and great land, is just facing failing crops. And instead of looking inward to see what he's doing wrong, the headman and his wife become totally consumed by jealousy. They basically take Raju's success as a personal insult. Listen to this quote from the headman. "No matter how hard we work, Raju always gets a bigger harvest than us. Not sure why." You can literally hear the bitter frustration there, right? This isn't just confusion, it's the seed of actual malice. The headman is wealthy, he has the resources, but he entirely lacks that genuine, honest connection to the work that Raju has. This festering envy is super dangerous, and it completely sets the stage for the conflict that's about to test our protagonists. Section 2. A Rescue in the Rain. Now, every story has a breaking point, and for Raju's family, it hits as a sudden, violent afternoon rainstorm. It's pouring so heavily that visibility drops to zero. Realizing his daughter Mala hasn't made it back from school, Raju totally panics and rushes out into the storm. When he finally spots her huddled under a tree, she isn't just hiding from the rain. Mala is actively using her own body to shelter a tiny injured baby pigeon she found helpless on the ground. So they get home, and Mala is just incredible. She treats this bird with such amazing care every single day. And as the pigeon recovers, it doesn't just heal up like your average city bird. It completely transforms. Boom, it reveals magnificent, shimmering, golden feathers. It starts soaring around their home, basically serving as this glowing, living symbol of Mala's compassion. Section 3. The Headman's Deceit. Right, so while magic is quite literally blossoming in Raju's home, harvest time arrives, and the headman, he decides to finally act on all that jealousy. His plan is so remarkably cowardly and calculated. First, he waits for Raju to take 2 days of well-earned rest at home. Seeing his window, the headman doesn't even do the dirty work himself. He orders his loyal servants to sneak into Raju's fields at night and steal the entire harvest. And the most devious part? The headman just chills quietly at home, securing the perfect alibi. The sheer malice behind the theft is spelled out perfectly right here. He says once he suffers a loss, he will have no choice but to come to us for help. It's wild. The headman doesn't just want the green. He wants to absolutely break Raju's spirit. He wants to force this proud, hardworking family into total submission and dependence. It's just a highly calculated move to destroy their livelihood purely out of spite. Put yourself in Raju's shoes for a second. Imagine the profound despair he feels the next morning. He walks out to his fields expecting the payoff from months of grueling labor, only to find the land completely stripped bare. Who has stolen the harvest that I worked so hard for? It is a devastating gut punch. He goes back home to Shalini, his face just heavy with hopelessness. They literally have no idea how they're going to survive the year. The injustice of it all is absolutely heartbreaking. Section 4. The Golden Pigeon Speaks. But just as the family hits absolute rock bottom, the golden pigeon does the unthinkable. It actually speaks. The bird reveals that it's a magical creature that lost its way, and it tells Mala, "When I was hurt and helpless, you helped me." Because Mala didn't just walk past a vulnerable creature in the rain, she's now got this incredibly powerful ally right when her own family is at their most vulnerable. And this bird does not mess around. It immediately takes action and exposes the village headman's entire sneaky plot, calling out the jealousy and the midnight theft. But it goes way beyond just sharing information. The golden pigeon starts to chant a magical spell, and right before their eyes, the entire stolen harvest is instantly transported back to Raju's front yard. Just like that, the family's livelihood and joy are totally restored. And when they refuse any extra reward, asking only for the pigeon to stay as their friend, it really just cements how pure their intentions always were. Section 5. The Magical Reward. So years pass in peace. Mala grows into a young woman, still living happily alongside her extraordinary best friend. Until one day, another golden pigeon shows up, and it turns out to be her pigeon's mother. But the mother arrives with a really tragic backstory. She'd actually been captured by humans and imprisoned for years. She finally managed to escape, so naturally she arrives at Mala's home with a deep, totally understandable mistrust of humanity. She is expecting the absolute worst. But her son, Mala's golden pigeon, immediately steps right in. He says, "No, Mom, not all humans are same. She is Mala. She took care of me. This family is very good." This is incredibly powerful. Mala's highly specific act of empathy didn't just save one bird's life. It actively challenged and shattered the mother bird's traumatic worldview. It proved to her that true compassion exists, even in a species she learned to fear. Because Mala had proven herself to be such a true friend, the golden pigeon decides it's time to return home with his mother. But he leaves Mala with one final unbelievable gift. He uses his magic to create a special pot for her, one that will literally produce gold coins whenever the family is truly in need. Talk about a solid safety net for life. And honestly, maybe even sweeter than the gold, the pigeon promises to fly back and visit Mala every single month. It's just a beautiful ending to a friendship that started in a rainstorm. Okay, let's take a quick second to boil all this down. The magic in this story is super fun and whimsical, but the values are incredibly grounded. Always help those in need, just like Mala did. Never be proud or arrogant, which is a huge flashing warning sign against the headman's destructive jealousy. And true kindness brings unexpected rewards. Maybe not magical pots of gold in our everyday lives, but goodwill, community support, and lasting friendships for sure. These are the takeaways that really matter. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. How does your kindness change the world for the vulnerable around you? Every single day, we have a choice. We can be the headman, hoarding and envying, or we can be Mala, offering shelter in a storm. The choices we make ripple outward in ways we really can't always predict. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this wonderful story. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.